And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this morning's first session. We are the first team here. Our team name is called Team Care4U. We are building a hospital kind of app, a healthcare services. So our app name, we decided to call it Health Buddy to make it friendly. So the reason why we want to create this kind of app is because we identify certain problems that we currently have healthcare services. They lack a proper platform for patients to check their appointments. They have platforms for them to check appointments, which is you call in or you go to the website and you log in and then you find out certain details here and so on and so forth. But we identify that they lack a proper platform is because the platform is not simple, it's very complicated. You call in, you need to provide your IC, you need to give them details, then they'll, over the phone, they'll get back to you. Then if they are in a busy hours, you will have to wait for their answers. So this is one of the problems. Another problem is patients, they lack the knowledge on how to take care of their health. So the patients here I'm referring to are the older generations who, as we know, Singapore is an aging population. So people, more and more, they are living a very busy lifestyle. So they lack this proper knowledge. They need health tips. So sometimes these health tips, they come in forms of on Facebook messages, on Facebook posts, but not everyone has time to read all these kind of messages everywhere on the internet. So they need this. We want to provide this platform to provide health tips specific to maybe their illnesses or any conditions that they might have. And last, we identify that the patients, they lack easy access to their own medical profile. Why am I saying this? For example, have you ever gone overseas and you fall sick, you need to visit a hospital, a doctor. So sometimes some people have different kind of allergies. They have different kind of conditions or existing conditions or past conditions. So we need the patients might need to show the doctor, and in different countries, the doctors might not understand our language. Like for example, you might be in Thailand, the doctors might speak not a very good English. So having a profile for them to see easily, it will be really good for them. So our solution is very simply to provide to create this platform for the patients to connect with the hospital administrators so that they can manage their appointments and as well as to take care of their own health by giving them health tips and so on and so forth. Yeah, so this is how we want to build this platform so that we can have a patient that's well organized. And the purpose of this is, well, to improve healthcare services, for patients to learn more on their health, and lastly is for patients to view all their appointments at one glance. Yeah, so our target users are primarily is tech-savvy patients. As we can see, Singapore is one of the highest population and one of the highest percentage that everyone knows how to use a smartphone. And our secondary users is of course tech-savvy caregivers directly related to patients. So for example, your grandmother or your grandfather or even your parents who might not know how to use a smartphone, they can, their children can actually help them with this. We try to make the app as simple as possible so that there is a possibility of teaching these patients how to use the app. Later on, there will be a demonstration given. So our overview for how we build this platform is we have a server backend. So there is a website for admins to manage patients. There is also the website for both the patients and the admin to access. It's actually the same website. And we have developed on the platform which is the iOS on iPhone. So the iPhone's platform is just for display purposes. It's displaying information for patients. So patients log in, they get to view all their information, they get to view their medical profile, the health tips, and also their appointments. And implementation-wise, we use Objective-C, of course, for iOS. We use Ruby on Rails for server backend. And lastly, we hosted it on AWS, Elastic Beanstalk. Okay, for the roles that we have, I'm talking about the roles that we are thinking of, admins and users. So we have the main admin, which they can manage admins and users. They can manage the patient's medical profiles. They can manage their health tips. They can also manage the appointments. So for admin, they can do the same except managing other admins. So you can think of main admin as the supervisor of all the admins. Then last is the users. The only privilege users have is to edit their own profile, for example, updating their home address or phone numbers. Okay, for registration, we also make it a very simple step. User, basically, they just register on the website. After that, the admin will add the users under their hospital. And finally, the user installs the application, logs in, and everything is ready to be displayed. So our future plans, if this works out, and if the idea is well received, we will expand to Android platform. We intend to include floor plans to show exact locations of appointments. For example, in SGH, there are different buildings. So some people might not know where to go for their appointments. We hope to also work together with hospitals to better improve the apps. And finally, we also want to provide a feedback platform for the patients to the hospital admins as well. So these are our future plans. And right now, we'll just move on to the demonstration. I'll hand over to my team.
Now we'll go on to a demonstration for the server backend. Now I'll just create a demo user, for example. So I just go to the website hosted on AWS. So I sign up. Through sign up, I just need to include the email. Sorry, it takes some time. So name, IC, password. So just these few details is the user will create an account on our server database. So on this site, this is the user access to the website. So they can view their profile. In their profile, they can edit their main profile and their contact information. And next, they can view their medical profile, which will be added if they have once the admin has edited their profile. So this will be the heart rate chart, and this is the blood pressure chart. And next is the health tips, which is not added by any admin now. And this is the appointment scheduling. So now I will sign into an admin account. Okay, so this is the admin account. So once a user is created in the database, so she just need to invite the user in. So once he invited the user, he's already directly under the of the patients he can manage now. So this is the demo user that we created beforehand for the testing purposes. So once I view this user, so I can manage their health tips and schedules and set an appointment. So for their profiling, I can edit their medical profile, which is here. So once I edit a medical profile, a few fields will come out. So the blood type, we can now adjust the blood type, history, allergy, diagnosis, or ongoing medication and stuff like that. See, this is just a sample layout. So once we work with the hospital closer, we are able to add in more accurate stuff, more accurate medical profiling for the patients themselves. So for heart rate is a chart. So every time they take go through a medical checkup or health checkup, we will take the nurses usually take the heart rate and blood pressure. So they'll just add into this chart and it will appear. So example, my heart rate now is 100. I add new heart rate, and now you just add it into the chart and to the database now. So they are able to keep track of their own health in this case. Okay, so this is for medical profile. So next is the health tip. I already created 3 health tips. So health tips are actually color coded. So red is things that you need to take care of, more important. So this is actually the importance of the health tip. So red is things that you actually need to avoid, and green is things that benefit your health, and yellow is stuff in the middle. So this is the health tip. Once I view the health tip, it will tell you who is posted by and the color code and description. So I can edit the health tip here and stuff like that. So this is the health tip and scheduling. So I already added 2 appointments to this user. So, and this appointment is actually, we make use of Google Map as well for the location base. So once the administrator add in a valid address, it will search through with your Google Map and display here for the viewer to see, the user to see as well. So if never mind. I don't know. So I can remove the appointment as well. And next, I can set a new appointment with a location. So I set a new appointment. So once this appointment is created, it will appear in the user schedule here. So with the address, I already key in a Singapore code and stuff, so it will display the location as well with Google Map. So this is for the server side. So that's the few functionalities we now cater for the patients to use. So we'll now move on to the user side on the mobile phone end. So this is the mobile app on the iOS. So once we log in, we'll be able to see the profile, the user profile, and the contact information. So we have this tab. This is the medical profile for the users. And next will be the health tips that's actually given by the administrator themselves. Okay, so 2 or 3. Okay. Okay. Next, lastly is the schedule that what is it called? The calendar view of the schedule. So if I select this date, it will appear the schedules will appear here. So for this date, I will have two schedules. It will appear here respectively. So once I click the schedule, it will show the details of the schedule. And that's the core functionalities that we have implemented on the iOS and the server. So that's all for the demo. Okay. Q&A. Now we move on to Q&A. Yeah, we are done. We'll move on to Q&A. Thank you.
I don't think we will need that. Okay, so firstly, thank you very much for your presentation. I think it's a very, very good job which you have done. Just a quick question. When you developed this software, did you all do any market research as to how many clinics would be using it and stuff like that? Did you all do any pre-market survey?
No, but we are mainly looking at the big hospitals and the general hospitals, the government-based,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Currently, just NUH and stuff like that.
I see.
Because they have a bigger database and more users will require such services.
So just so that I understand the product correctly,
Mm-hmm.
so they would have to key in this information themselves, the patient's information, and would it be the hospitals which will do it, or would that be
The hospitals, they will do it, yeah.
So the challenge would be to get the hospitals to adopt it. So,
Yes, correct.
All right, I understand.
I have a question. Like, have you guys heard of the HEPA compliance? HEPA. So it's actually what the US side of to implement like a set of guidelines for security in terms from health profiles sharing across hospitals, and basically this includes what you guys are trying to do. And many countries in fact in Asia also is slowly adopting that. I'm not sure if Singapore has adopted it, but Indonesia is adopting it, Philippines is adopting it, and so on and so forth. So it's more from a security standpoint because of the privacy that is required for the health profiles and all the health data that's involved. Maybe you guys should actually take a look at that and if you guys are going to plan to move this forward, look into the HEPA compliance because that would be something that will make or break what you guys are trying to get into, because the health industry is not as easy, and they're very focused on security. They're very concerned about security, especially privacy of their individual patients' profiles.
Oh, okay. Sure, thank you.
The other challenge we need to address is because the person keying the appointments, we depend on the person keying the medical history. Right?
Can be different, but we'll keep track of the administrator that is going to key the information in. Yeah.
Because the hospital staff are so busy.
Mm.
Keying the medical information is maybe quite time
Oh.
consuming. So the challenge is probably for you to get the buy-in from the nurses, or maybe even, I'm not sure, maybe even the doctors, because doctors are the ones with all this information.
Sure.
And not sure how willing are hospitals to allow the patients to carry their own medical information here because of all these personal issues. Even for now, the doctors, the hospitals, they don't even release your own personal medical information to you, right? So this is one issue that needs to be addressed.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, need the record. Oh, okay. So we'll use this later. I think it will like, we'll press like, yeah, we'll press when we need to.
How long did you all take to develop this software, taking into consideration the time you need to understand the different APIs, to understand, let's say, Amazon Web Services, etc.? How long did it take you to develop?
1 month plus. About 1.5 months. Yeah. Because we already have some knowledge on the stuff we're going to do. Because we have already, actually I have already developed a RR server before and uploaded to a AWS server before. So I have quite some experience in that. And he has developed some iOS apps as well. So we are...
You all are computer science students? Or?
Yeah, we are computer science students.
Have you guys... Hello. Have you guys see, I forgot it. Oh, okay, yeah. Have you guys actually taken a look at the NUH or the other hospitals' systems? Because from my understanding, NUH does have their own internal electronic system already. So everything is all electronic. So say, for example, if you go into the radiology and do a scan or CT scan or whatever scan you have, it automatically, when it's ready, it's digitized and sent over to your patient profile and records. So from my understanding, a lot of the hospitals already have their own internal systems. From NUS has it, SGH has it, and I'm not sure about the other hospitals. I only frequent these two hospitals. That's why I know that they have their own systems. Have you seen it? And from an integration standpoint, thought about how you can automatically integrate into those systems, because they already have your digital profile, digital records, patient record inside there already.
Because currently we're looking at our own database on it. That's why we have our future plans to actually integrate our database with the hospital's database, actually to work with them more closely to improve the application. But currently we have not tried to look into their system yet. Yeah, that's a future implementation we plan to do.
Yeah, I have few kind of comments on the UI. Basically, the calendaring schedule which you have done is it integrated with your native calendar, which means that when the time comes in, any notification sends you to your user?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
For example, you have an appointment at 9 p.m. maybe today.
Yeah.
So is there any reminder sent it to you as a notification at 8 p.m. or 7 p.m.?
The notifications part, we have not yet looked into it because we are still in the fine-tuning stages of developing this application. And it is also not integrated with the native calendar yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more thing is, is there any usability you're thinking of, like how to manage different profiles in a single user? Like, as you said, the more friendly or the more users would be on tech savvy. So I might be managing my grandfather, grandmother, and my father. So if you want to log off and log in and log off and log in for each, might be difficult one. So maybe color coding with the calendar with different profile. So I manage single account for multiple person.
Sure, we'll look into that. That's the future.
I think we can look into that in the future.
Okay, but looks good.
How do you press? Oh, how about from a business standpoint? Like, what's your business plan, your revenue and whatnot? Because it's over here.
Oh, it's a question.
Basically, how do you plan to make
Yeah,
money?
how do you plan to make
Oh,
money? Yeah,
because
yeah.
we are actually thinking that we get subsidies from the government, and it will be a free application for the user side. But database-wise, if we share with the hospital, maybe the expenses will be shared or stuff like that. Because yeah.
For maintenance issues, we can cover that for the application. So probably revenue will be generated from there. And also future implementations, improvements suggested by the hospitals, we can also handle that.
Maybe just some, I wouldn't say advice, but maybe something you could think about. Firstly, I'd like to commend you on the work which you have done. I think it's very good technically, so that's very good. But when I was at your age, I was an engineering student, and yeah, understanding the business part of it, how to make money, understanding the competitive space, yeah, what my colleague here was saying. Yeah, I mean, have you seen the hospital systems? Yeah, have you tried it out, and how do you integrate in the back end? The understanding in the competitive space and what is present is very, very critical to be successful in the business. So that's something you may want to think about. You have that core knowledge in terms of technology. How do you cross that boundary between technology into the business space? Okay, so you have many years ahead of you, so good luck.
Thank you. Any more questions?
Hi, so I represent NUS Enterprise, so we are always looking for enterprising students and alumni. So after you have created this prototype, right, what are your next steps? Do you intend to continue on with this mobile app?
We decided to join iCreate as it's just an interest. Yeah, so we were very curious on how to develop applications. So we just thought, hey, why not just dive into this iCreate thing? Let's just try out something new. So we throughout the journey that we created this application and so on and so forth, we actually thought that if this is successful, we might actually continue to improve it. Yeah, if it's not, then we'll move on. Maybe we'll come up with a better idea next time. Yeah, so perhaps that can answer your question.
Okay. Are you intending to apply for NOC, the NUS Overseas College?
We are currently all year 4 students really.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Is there any more questions? Yeah. With that, I want to thank all of you guys. Yeah. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.